one last try, because I keep doing these vlogs and they're like 10 minutes long and I don't want to listen to me for 10 minutes, so I don't know why anyone else would. So, sorry, there's 2 weeks in one here. We'll just do 2 weeks in one, 2 in 1, to become one, but not like the Spice Girls. Because Alice's birthday was last week and we had a sleepover on the Saturday and it was crazy manic. And if your kids ever say, oh, can I have a sleepover? Say no and run screaming from them, because just no. And I had some really, really polite, nice children, but still carnage, mess. My floors are never going to be the same again, I swear to God. So yeah, that meant I just didn't do it, and then I had the consultants on Tuesday, so I thought I would do the 2 now. So this covers week 17 and week 18. Thankfully, symptomatic wise, they've pretty much been the same. So I'll go over that in the consultant's appointment and stuff, and hopefully I won't take forever to do it. Apologies if I do. So yes, the main symptoms same, skin still utter crap. It really is, like lumpy bumpy. I've got makeup on, I have to wear makeup, I look horrendous, but I've got horrible feeling I'm actually reacting to my makeup. So I'm trying to get some new foundation or something in the faint hope that it will stop my skin being like ridiculously awful, because no one wants to have a red lumpy face, let's be honest. I'm a bit of a vain tart, I'm not gonna lie, and having a really lumpy itchy face is driving me up the wall, and also it looks pretty horrendous when I haven't got makeup on, and I'd like rather not make small children cry when I leave the house. I'm already fat, I need my face to look less horrifying than my body, you know. Heartburn has been kicking up a gear. I have had to start taking antacids and stuff pretty much every day now, but again, it's not awful. It's not the stuff that's leaving blisters on my throat. It's just that annoying background heartburn. Every now and then it's actually like, oh, I really have to take something because burns. Sickness, still pretty horrendous at times, but again, not awful. I'm not throwing my guts up all the time. It's not awful sickness at all, but it's pretty strong sick feeling, and it is most days. So that's the difficult thing with that, is it's just quite hard to function when you actually just feel like moving is going to make you want to vomit. It's that I feel like I'm going to be sick any minute feeling that I really dislike. It's not that bad all the time, but it is most days. So it's a little bit exhausting feeling sick, weirdly enough, and I'm tired anyway. But again, I'm just grateful that I'm not throwing up 12 times a day. I am not ridiculously sick. I still can't eat some days. But I'm a fat person, as I said, so not being able to eat isn't actually the end of the world. I can pretty much eat fruit and veg at some point during the day, so I'm getting vitamins and stuff like that, so I can't complain, but it's definitely wreaked havoc on me on a sense that I can't just sit down and eat a dinner. It's just, no. This kid doesn't like me doing that. Or lunch. But again, it's really not the end of the world. I've been getting headaches a lot, like this constant headache that goes on for like 2 weeks, but it's just a background one that you're like, ow, this is annoying. And then it comes out like boom, and it really sucks for a day, and then it sort of disappears. And I've had that before pregnancy, and that's coming back. But what I've had at the minute is like 3 or 4 days where it's background, but it hurts to the point that I'm thinking I'm going to probably take painkillers, and then boom for a day, and then it goes back down to just being annoying for like 2 or 3 days, and then it went boom again, and now it's gone back to just being annoying. So I'm hoping that ends soon, because it's, you know, kind of irritating. But not the end of the world. I've got paracetamol. Doesn't really, when it goes boom, which is the best description I've got because I'm an idiot, paracetamol doesn't do anything. It literally doesn't do anything. I can't drive or anything like that properly. It's just, it's horrible. And I ended up not being able to drive. And Darren had to be the man dashing out and being taxi person, because I couldn't, it wouldn't have been safe for me to drive. So that's a bit of an irritation, but there are always taxis if that happens at school run time. So it's not the end of the world, but it could potentially be quite expensive. So that's why you have pregnancy expense, if anyone's asking. It's so I can actually use my expenses to get a taxi to collect my children from school if I can't drive, because the hormones have given me a really bad headache. But I've not actually had to resort to that yet. And I'm hoping, because it's always going to be an option, that I will never actually have to do it. Does that make sense? So yeah, headache, sickness, and acid, both, sciatica, arse cheek on the left side. Not feeling great right now. Kind of goes down the back of the leg every now and then, but pretty much my arse just hurts on one side and my lower back. So again, it's not awful, I can walk, but every now and then I have to remember in public that rubbing my arse isn't really an option. I'm going to look kind of freaky and people will start moving their children away from me if I do that. So I have to try and be aware of my own self, which is something I'm not very good at. So that could be fun, but I haven't actually made anyone cry yet. So it's okay, right? It's all good. Other than that, what is there? no, I think that's it. I think that covers all the stuff. Nothing fun and no spontaneous orgasms. I haven't got like a massive amount of karmic luck and I'm winning loads of raffles or anything like that. I'm just not winning nothing. Though I did win the Euro Millions, all 3 numbers. And it was like £6.80, and that's the biggest win I think I've had in years. So I was genuinely really chuffed. And I was like, oh, maybe that's surrogacy karma. I wanted the jackpot, but you know, maybe I'm being selfish, so whatever. Other than that, what else was it? Consultants, yes. 2 things. One, they dipped my urine when I saw the midwives first, because over here you go and see a midwife, then you see a consultant. I'm only seeing the consultant because it was a pregnancy via fertility treatment and I'm still classed as low risk. Ding. I stole that, sorry. I won't do that again. That's like plagiarism in the videography way. So yeah, what was that? Yeah. So I had 1+ of blood, 1+ of protein and 3+ of leukocytes. But that again could be down to the fact that I'm not eating much some days and hadn't really eaten that the day before or that morning because I'd felt really sick on my head. It was one of those days when my head was absolutely killing me when I saw the consultant. So they sent the sample off to be cultured and they said my doctor would ring me if there was anything wrong. But this was on Tuesday. So I don't know how long it takes to culture. But if they don't ring me by this Tuesday, I'm assuming that I don't need antibiotics. And it was probably just because I hadn't eaten much. I don't know if that's a possibility. One of my friends was like, it's probably just because you can't eat. And I was like, oh, right, okay then. You just got a slightly funky wee. Who doesn't want that? It's a bit gross really when you think about it, but whatever. I try not to think too much about the grosser things because then you... The other thing is he said he would definitely not feel comfortable with me having a home birth, but they said that last time and then they gave in anyway, so just going to see how it goes. I genuinely don't mind hospital birth. If they turn around to me and say it was best for the baby to have a hospital birth, then I personally, I might prefer home birth, but I would go to hospital. I'm not gonna fight to have a home birth if it meant having even myself or this child at risk. I'm not going to risk uterine rupture or something. That's what he said he's got. He said he's a bit more concerned because I'm multi-para and this is my 6th pregnancy because they count the very first pregnancy I had at the beginning of my videos when I did the very first surrogacy journey and had a missed miscarriage at 11 weeks, I've mentioned before, and I had to have a D and C basically. And he said because of that, they count it definitely as 6 because I had the little mini operation thingy. So I'm at an increased risk of uterine rupture. It seems a little melodramatic to me, but I'm not an OBGYN or whatever, so I'm not going to argue with the dude. I'm probably going to ask the midwives about home birth, and if they poo-poo it, then I'll just accept it. It's slightly different this time because I've got a heterosexual couple, whereas previously, of course, I had a homosexual couple, 2 dudes, and I didn't want them to like be kept away from their baby, and the hospital are fantastic, and they would have kept us all together and put the men in the side room if they could. But if they couldn't, it would have been very much more difficult for David to have stayed with his child than it would be for Jo because she's a woman. So I'm not as fussed about hospital birth. My IPs obviously do get a say. I mean, it's my birth, so I would put my foot down if I needed to, but I have never had to. And because I'm not that much of a cow, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll do what you want. I don't really care as long as this kid comes out and doesn't ruin me too much. We're all golden. But they don't mind. So if they want us to do a hospital birth, then I will happily have a hospital. Well, I'm not sure if I go as far to say happily have a hospital birth, but I will have a hospital birth and I won't moan too much. So yeah, there's that. So we're gonna see how that goes. We'll probably have to have a big meeting with the head midwife again. I don't know. My IM was asking about that the other day. No, this morning actually. It was this morning, this day. And I don't know. So we'll see as we go further on because we're only 19 weeks currently. So we've got plenty of time to find out what they feel is best and how we're going to go around it and, you know, update you then. I am going to have a scan at 36 weeks because he is still transverse. And the doctor said because babies tend to sort of favour a position, he wants to double check before I'm too late into it. So at 36 weeks, have a scan just to double check baby's position and check out his size and stuff. I've generally, all the babies I've had pretty much have been like 6, 7 pounds, the end of 6 and the beginning of 7 pounds. Seth was 7 pounds 3.5 ounces, so I think that's the thing that brings concern because he was only 37 weeks when he was born, so that was massive, 37 weeks. But David did inform me when I was pregnant that I think he said him and his brother and sister were all like between 10 to 12 pounds. So thank you for coming early, Seth. Thank you, thank you, thank you, you lovely child. Because I think I would have died if he'd been full term or late. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to shut up because again, 10 minutes. Honestly, I suck. I'll put bump pictures at the end because I definitely feel like I've sort of got a real bump thing going on. I can't really show it very well here. I'm going to try. Oh, wow. Close up. So yeah. Look. Ooh. There's cat, excuse cat. So definitely feel like I've popped now. So yeah, and I'll throw photos in at the end. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'm going to shut up because I'm repeating myself, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.